I found unexpected friendships on a cam site during a lonely time in my life. About 15 years ago, I moved to a remote location for a new job. It was a huge change, and while I appreciated the peace and quiet at first, the isolation started to get to me. I've always been a bit of an introvert, so socializing wasn't something I actively sought out, but living so far from everyone I knew left me craving some kind of connection. That's when I stumbled onto cam sites. Now, I know what you might be thinking: cam sites are usually associated with money or something strictly sexual. But for me, it was different. At first, I hung out in free chat rooms while doing mundane things like cooking or watching TV. It wasn't about spending money, I just enjoyed the casual conversations. Over time, I got to know some of the cam girls, and we developed friendly connections. It wasn't particularly deep or personal, but it was enough to make me feel less alone during those long, quiet evenings. After months, sometimes even longer, I'd occasionally take the next step and pay for a private session. It wasn't primarily about anything sexual, although there was an element of that. It was about showing appreciation for the rapport we had built. These women weren't just random strangers to me anymore. I felt like they deserved to know who I was, even if it was just through a webcam. One cam girl stands out in my memory. We'd been chatting for almost a year before I decided to take her private. When I did, she made me promise it wouldn't change our dynamic. That small request meant a lot to me. It showed she valued the friendship we created as much as I did. As time went on, my life evolved. I started making friends and building a community in the real world, and my visits to cam sites became less frequent. Eventually, I stopped going altogether. Every so often, though, I'll check those sites, curious to see if any familiar faces pop up. They never do. I hope those women have moved on to bigger and better things, and that they're happy. Looking back, it's strange how people from such an unexpected corner of life became so important to me, even if only for a while. Those cam girls were more than just fleeting acquaintances, they were my companions during a lonely chapter of my life. I'll always remember them fondly and be grateful for the connection they gave me when I needed it most.